Talking about how to eat to lose weight. So this one is following on from last fortnight, where we were looking at how to lose weight in 4 simple steps. And that one was based all around some of the other things that you could do to move you to a place of helping you to lose weight. Today I'm going to focus on the nutrition side, how to eat to lose weight. So for you to get to your goal of losing weight, we want to eat in a particular way. Is it possible to lose weight simply by changing the way that we eat? You betcha. Have you ever been on a diet? Have you found yourself on a diet? I think most people have. And this is how it normally goes. We decide we're going on a diet. We cut out all the foods that we love to eat, usually those carbohydrate foods. So, the chocolate, the cheese, the wine, the potato chips, the cake, all those type of foods, and all those type of foods that we mentally love to eat. We've cut out all those foods. We're going along well, where I can do this. We're a few days in. By the end of the week, all we can think about is the foods that we have cut out. And it starts playing on our mind, and then continual thoughts about those particular foods until those thoughts become so overwhelming and so overpowering that we give in to them and we lose all type of willpower. And then we start to actually overeat and binge eat on the foods that we've tried so hard to cut out of our diet. So we've now gone from a space of restrictive eating to overeating and binge eating. And then what we find happens is the guilt comes in, and it comes in thick and fast. So then it starts that mental cycle of, I can't do this. I'm not successful. This is too hard. And it then becomes a yo-yo effect where we go on a diet, we restrict ourselves, we get to the point where we can no longer hold out on the foods that we love to eat. So we eat them, but we eat them in excess, and then the guilt sets in. So it becomes this vicious cycle that we go through. It becomes a roller coaster. And whew, what a ride that one is. And I know I've certainly been on that, so I know exactly how it feels. But I promise you, it does not have to be this way. Alrighty, we don't have to be on a restrictive diet to be able to lose weight. We can actually learn to appreciate and love, as well as having a healthy relationship with food. And at the same time, we can work towards and progress towards the goals of weight loss that we want to achieve. Welcome everybody, Kareen here from CRG Energy Fitness. I'm a head coach and owner here, and my purpose, what we do is we help parents to build the body that they love so they can feel strong and confident and feel empowered to know that they can do this and they can do anything that they dream of doing. Is it possible to lose weight by changing the way that we eat? Absolutely. Alrighty, now there are other varieties of this same situation that I just took you through, the yo-yo cycle, but it always ends the same. You end up giving up on the diet that you've started. And this isn't because you're not good enough or, because it's impossible to reach that goal. Absolutely not. It is possible. However, I believe dieting is the wrong way to go about it and the wrong way to look at it. Today, we're going to look at today's 4 tips all about nutrition. So little tweaks and little changes that we can make to our nutrition to help us progress forward on getting to the goal of losing weight. Alrighty, so tip number 1. So include the foods that you love to eat and don't restrict yourself. Too many people remove all of the things that they love to eat and boom, straight away, restriction. The restriction comes from a space of a scarcity mindset. Alrighty, so a mindset of lack, of I can't do this, I need to take away things for this to work. Alrighty, let's change our perspective on that and actually start adding foods into your everyday nutrition that you love and that you're going to stick to. Alrighty, so the mindset of restriction is far too damaging to yourself, mental health, as well as to your physical body as well. So what happens when we tell ourselves that we can't eat a particular food? Like I might say, hey, I'm not going to eat chocolate. Yeah, right, Kareen. Like, am I never going to eat chocolate again? Like that just doesn't seem possible. Alrighty. And it starts this cycle within our mind of what we can't have. And of course, the minute that we can't have something, what do you think happens? That's the only thing we can think about, right? Our brain is then trained to focus because all of our energy is focused on the thing that we can't have. So remember, where our focus goes, our energy goes. So if we're so focused on not having a particular food or foods, then that's all that we can think about. And that's all we're going to then focus on. For me, cookies is a huge one. I love cookies. So the minute I tell myself I can't have cookies ever again, that's all I ever think about. Cookies. How can I get cookies? Where are the cookies that I can eat? So it becomes almost an obsessive compulsion in a sense. And that's all I want to have. Alrighty. All self-control then goes out the window and all willpower is gone. Alrighty. And then we end up binge eating and overeating on these foods because we're craving them so much. Alrighty. So my tip here is to choose up to 5 foods that you cannot go without. So it might be cookies, it might be ice cream, it might be cake, it might, whatever it is for you, chocolate. Choose up to 5 foods and then actually incorporate them into your everyday eating plan. Alrighty, and I would go as far as to even say plan your meals around them. So what we want to look at is then having, 80 to 90% of our everyday eating of those whole grain foods, of those lean proteins, and then 10% thereabouts of those, and what I call them is those mentally feel-good foods, alrighty? So those foods that we enjoy and they do make us feel good, so we don't want to restrict or cut them out completely, alrighty? We want to then look at how much we're eating, absolutely, and we want to reduce the amount of those types of foods that we're eating, but we don't want to cut them out completely. Build into your everyday eating those foods and then build in the rest of your meals around it. For example, I eat dark chocolate every single night. The way of eating that I'm on at the moment, I absolutely love every single thing that I'm eating because I've designed it myself around the foods that I love to eat. So I'm actually excited to eat food at every single meal, alrighty, because I'm including the things that I love to eat. So there's that excitement factor. There's that, wow, I can't wait to eat my lunch today, or I can't wait to eat, my afternoon tea or my meal number 3, or however you look at it in that sense. Alrighty, we want to include the foods that we do like to eat. Tip number 2 is add more protein to your diet. Now, so many members that I see, so many parents I speak to, and especially mums, especially females, we're very quick to try to just reduce all type of food that we're eating. We want to increase the amount of movement that we do and then just reduce the amount of food that we eat straight away. So instead of again, that's coming from a scarcity mindset, so a mindset of lack. So let's look at the types of foods that we're eating. So adding in more lean protein, so more chicken, more meat, more fish, plate your meals so that half of your plate is full of salad, quarter of your plate is full of, a lean protein. So as I mentioned, foods like chicken, meat, red meat, lamb, fish. We can look at Greek yogurt as well as another awesome high protein food, cottage cheese. If you're on the vegan or the vegetarian side, things like tofu, nuts are high in, certain nuts are high in protein, soy products, they're going to increase your protein levels in that sense. Okay, because remember, protein is a building block, so it helps build our lean muscle tissue. Alrighty, and why we want to build that lean muscle tissue is because it helps increase our metabolism. And the higher amount of muscle mass that we have within our body, the higher the calorie burn that our body is doing just to maintain that muscle mass at rest. So when we're doing absolutely nothing at all, our body is working hard, burning those calories to keep the muscle mass, ticking over, keep it nice and working, so to speak, in real simple type of terms. And that's where that toned look comes from, all right? So increasing the muscle mass that we have and decreasing the body fat, so the percentage of body fat that we have. Because we all have muscles, and we all have a six-pack. It's just the layers of body fat that the muscle is covered by. So if we can reduce that body fat amount and then look at increasing the muscle mass by doing things like strength training, resistance training, so using weights, then we're going to help build that muscle mass. And another thing about protein in that sense, it helps to allow us to feel more satiated. So feeling fuller for longer. We feel more satisfied after eating foods that are full of protein because they're full of amino acids that's going to help build those building blocks to build that muscle mass. And when it comes to protein, it's almost impossible to overeat protein. Like if you think of an egg, for example, like if you eat one egg, you're good. If you eat two, maybe three, you're pretty full, right? It's really hard to go and eat a whole carton of eggs in one sitting. However, if you're getting out a bag of, let's say, Doritos, it's really actually hard just to eat 1, 2, 3 Doritos. We usually end up eating the whole pack. Alrighty, because they're made to do that. They taste good. The feeling within our mouth, it makes us feel happy. Alrighty, so it's very hard to overeat protein. Whereas something like those refined carbohydrates, they are more likely to be overeaten. So ensure that you are getting protein with every single meal. So add more protein to your diet. Alrighty, tip number 3, moving along, eat more fiber. Alrighty, so again, fiber is going to help keep us fuller for longer. Alrighty, and fiber is found in our fruits, in our vegetables, in our whole grains, in our oats, beans and legumes, brown rice, whole wheat pasta. Those foods are full of fiber and they help us to lose weight by aiding and improving our digestion. They help to reduce our appetite by allowing us to feel fuller for longer because fiber isn't actually dissolved within our body as such. It goes then into our digestive tract and into our intestines and helps bind like all the toxins and everything together in that sense to help us to pass all of our waste out. Actually helps feed the good bacteria within our gut, which reduces inflammation throughout our body. If we're holding a lot of weight, it's usually because we've got a lot of inflammation happening within our gut. Alrighty, so feeding that good bacteria with soluble fibers, so fibers that dissolve in water, will help us to lose weight because it helps reduce the inflammation throughout our gut. So it helps to remove the shit from our guts. Mind the pun on that one. So that's tip number 3, eat more fiber. So huge amounts of vegetables, salads, that we can add to our meals. And what that does as well, it actually adds volume to our plate. So I know for myself, if I was to sit down and have, a plate that's only got a small amount of food on, just mentally looking at that as well, I already kind of think, I don't think this is going to be enough food. I'm going to feel hungry. Yet if we're filling our plate with a whole lot of salad, a whole lot of vegetables, they're very low in calories, but they're full of fiber, which then help to keep us feeling fuller for longer. So eat more fiber. Alrighty. Now tip number 4, don't be afraid of eating carbs. Alrighty. Too many of us are carb phobic, I'm going to say. Alrighty, we're afraid to eat carbohydrates. Now, carbs give us energy and they're going to enhance our performance and enhance, our energy levels in that sense. So our brain and our body needs the macronutrient carbohydrates to be able to survive. A number of different carbohydrates. So when I talk about carbohydrates here, I'm talking about the complex carbohydrates. So foods that are full of fiber, which we've just touched on. So those foods like the whole grain pasta, the oats, the whole grain breads, sweet potato, those type of complex carbohydrates, which take a lot longer to break down in our body. So the energy that it's giving us is spaced out over a longer period of time, rather than or compared to the simple or the refined carbohydrates, the processed carbohydrates, which gives us that blood spike, which fills us with energy straight away, but then we get that crash and that burn. Alrighty, so we're going up, we're going down. So we want to avoid that up, down with our blood sugar. So we want to regulate that as much as possible. So yes, you heard me right. We want to add carbohydrates to our everyday eating so that we can lose weight. So think about it this way. The more energy that we have, the more energy that we can actually use then to be able to put it towards the things we want to do. So playing with our children, keeping up with the kids, going to exercise, going for a walk. We need the energy. And even just simple little things around the house that we want to be doing rather than, being on the couch and feeling as if we can't get up from the couch because we just have no energy. So add carbohydrates to your diet, complex carbohydrates. So the simple processed carbohydrates, yes, we want to reduce those. However, as I touched on before, in the sense of adding foods into your diet that you love, we want to choose up to 5 that we can add into over your weekly plan. Alrighty, so we don't want to restrict and cut them out altogether, no, but we do want to reduce the intake that we're having. And I'm going to throw in a bonus tip. So bonus tip number 5, eat mindfully. So yes, you may remember this bonus tip from last fortnight as well. And this is how important it actually is that I'm throwing it in again. So you going and actually eating your food mindfully, and every meal that you have, sitting down at the table, actually, getting rid of all your distractions. So not having your phone near you, not eating, watching television while you're eating, sitting at the table, taking in the smells, the scents of your food, having the food in your mouth, taking time to chew it, taking time to enjoy it, taking time to actually taste your food. Alrighty, we should be chewing our food for up to, each mouthful up to 20 times before actually swallowing it. Like, how many times have you sat down, or not even sat down, but just engulfed your food and at the end thought, oh, it's gone. Wow, okay, I'm actually still hungry. But is it that you're actually hungry, or is it just because you've eaten quite mindlessly and you haven't had or taken the time to actually enjoy the experience of your food? That you then just feel as if you need more because you haven't, actually taken the time to eat that food and to taste that food and to savor that food. So we want to help build a healthy relationship with food in this sense, where we're actually enjoying every mouthful that we eat. And if we can do that, and especially with those simple and processed refined carbohydrates, I think you'll find that you'll eat a lot less if you're able to actually, savor the taste of the food rather than just engulfing it and then thinking afterwards, oh, where did that go? Because I've been there as well. I've done that plenty of times, even to the point of then, going back for more of those foods because I just then think, oh, well, I haven't even I didn't actually even experience the food. And food is awesome. Like, food is then fuel, and food is medicine for our body. So you want to enjoy every single meal that you have. So remember, everybody, that losing weight and making changes to our body composition is going to take effort, alrighty? And it's going to take time. So remember, to make a change, you need to make a change. And you need to invest the time and the energy and the effort into yourself, and give yourself the patience and the consistency that you deserve to allow you to get to the goal that you want. All right. So if you need help on getting to your goal, please, by all means, reach out. I'm here to help you. I'm here to offer guidance, offer advice, offer help, offer support. That is what we help our members with. We offer them support through the everyday challenges of life. Alrighty, and remember, we're not going to be perfect every single day of the week, and it's not about being perfect. It's about learning and about being that little bit better each and every week, each and every day. Just aim at being that little bit better. And if we mess up, that's okay. Put it behind us. It's over. It's gone. And look at how we can be that little bit better for the next meal or the next day or the next week. Alrighty, guys, thanks so much for joining me. I would love for you to put any takeaways into the comments below. Have the best day. Till next fortnight. See ya.